Welcome, gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about the full impact transformation full framework. I'm going to show you exactly what I do and what I teach the men that I work with, the business owners that I work with, from the baseline to the fifth level that we implement into their lives to truly make them superhuman. Which kind of impact does this have on their lives? First of all, they have way more energy, they were more focused, they look better. So it's physical and it's a mental transformation for business owners who really want to max out their lives entirely. So when we look at the baseline, as you can see on your screen, we have food, training, sleep, and stress. It says stress, but it's truly stress management. These are the basics. This is the foundation that will do 80% of everything. Now, obviously, I talk with a lot of guys, a lot of new guys. They come to me and they're like, okay, well, which kind of sauna should I use? Or how many times per week should I do ice baths? And truly, all those things don't matter at all if you don't have the baseline in order first, the foundation in order first. So if we start looking at food, for example, with food, it's truly simple. You have to start eating animal-based foods and only whole foods. So avoid everything that's processed. You can eat carbs if you want to, but make sure that they come from a clean source. But generally, you have to eat whole animal-based foods. Those are meat, fish, and eggs. Those are literally the best foods for you because they have all the nutrients that you need, not only to survive, but to thrive. This is why when you look at vegans, for example, vegans, they can't survive without supplementing 50 pills a day. All their B vitamins, all this stuff, because they don't eat meat, right? So they have to supplement on top of that. So it's truly, truly, truly important that you base your diet off of meat, fish, and eggs, red meat, that is. Some people are like, what about chicken? Can I eat chicken? And chicken is, obviously, it's not bad. I don't want to talk bad about chicken or chickens, right? But the fat and the protein content of chicken is just inferior to red meat. When you eat beef, when you eat a steak, it's just way better quality. Also because when you have chicken usually, the fat content of chicken is usually too much omega-6 compared to omega-3s, which is way better in beef and red meat, in fish and in eggs, right? So with food, it's truly important that you eat animal-based, meat, fish, and eggs, and then add whatever you want to add. If you want to eat vegetables, you can eat vegetables. If you want to eat carbs, you can eat carbs. It's all fine, right? But make sure that it comes from clean sources. Now with training, the most important thing is having a program that is short and intense so you don't waste time in the gym. Now, the way that I work out is I only go to the gym twice a week and I only work out for 22 minutes, 25 minutes per session, which equals less than an hour per week in the gym. And I've made pretty good gains. I mean, you can see this is a pretty decent physique off of less than 1 hour per week in the gym. I don't do any cardio. If you want to do cardio, you can walk. That's a great way to do cardio. But the way you should structure your workouts is with intensity, doing exercises to failure. That's one of the most important things to do. And then the way that I do it is I do 2 muscle groups per session, and then I do 3 exercises per muscle group. And I just go to failure. So that's what I do with training. It's very, very simple. It takes very little time. And everyone can do it, even busy men. I designed this for myself in the beginning, but also some of my first clients who didn't have much time, so we had to incorporate evidence-based ways of working out, building muscle mass, and getting all the improvements of doing strength training. If we look at sleep next, sleep is also so important. It's during sleep you're burning fat. It's during sleep that you're building the muscle. It's during sleep that you're cleaning the brain. It literally cleans itself during your sleep. It's where you move your memories from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. It's how you learn. Everyone knows that sleep is important. And you should sleep generally in cycles. So one cycle is 90 minutes. And what you can do is sleep in cycles. Generally, on average, you should sleep 5 cycles per night. That equals 7.5 hours per night of sleep, which is decent. If you can, you should sleep more. If you add another cycle, that's 9 hours. Getting 9 hours of sleep, it's amazing. Amazing for everything. Muscle building, hormonal optimization, everything. Truly, truly everything. And last but not least, in the baseline, in the foundation, you have stress management. And stress management, I say stress management because every single man doing something worthwhile with his life, pushing his boundaries, will face some kind of stress, right? And the way that I like to handle stress is having two different outlets, a physical and a passive outlet. You can do strength training, you can do boxing, you can do intense running. And some people like to do meditations, they like to do journaling. So have two different types of ways to handle stress. It's truly, truly important because stress is inevitable. It's normal. It's normal having stress in your life. If you don't have stress in your life, you're not evolving, you're not really doing anything. So those are the 4 basic tenets. This is the foundation. Everyone should get that in order, because before asking me, oh, what about saunas? What about red light therapy? What about infrared therapy? Bro, listen, all those things don't matter if you don't have the foundation in order, okay? So start with that. Now, let's go to the next one. And that is basic supplementation. As you can see on your screen, it says mineral and vitamins. So mineral supplementation and vitamin supplementation. Mineral supplementation, which can be, that's magnesium, that's zinc. The soil that we get our food from is not as good quality as it used to be. That's why some people need to supplement with supplements, obviously, right? Minerals and vitamins. Vitamins such as B vitamin or D vitamin are essential for life. If you're not outside enough to produce D vitamin, you should get that exogenously. So take D vitamin and other basics, minerals and vitamins. That is basic supplementation. That's what you do after having your foundation in order. This is one of the ways that you can not only function properly, but just function normally, right? Having these two things in order. This can help you. Just doing this can help you tremendously. You do not understand how many people don't even have the foundation in order. Then adding the supplementation on top of that, really, that alone can take you to the next level in terms of your health. If you just do that, nothing else. Now, if we look at the level above the basic supplementation, this is where you have the cold baths. This is where you have the infrared therapy, the manual therapy, so the physiotherapy, and the saunas, right? This makes sense in this level. Let's look at it from this point of view. If you're doing cold baths, but you're not eating properly, it doesn't really matter. Cold baths are amazing. If you go from a cold bath to a sauna, going back and forth, cold bath to warm bath, it's really, really good for your muscles, right? It's really good for restitution, helping increasing the blood flow to the muscles, so you can restitute faster, easier, better, right? It's one of the hacks that we use when I work with guys who really want to push themselves physically, be like semi-athletes, amateurs, amateur athletes. This is one of the things that we do, doing it this way. But again, this does not make any sense. It does not make sense to go into a sauna if you're not sleeping properly, if you're not eating properly. Yeah, the sauna will help you. It will, but it's not going to move the needle that much. That's why you need the foundation in order at first, before start doing these things, okay? But when you do them, they have tremendous benefits doing it this way. So, cold baths, infrared therapy, red light therapy, all this is great. It's really, really good for your skin, for cardiovascular health, for your heart. It's perfect. Saunas, I love saunas. Saunas are amazing. Doing saunas just a few times a week decreases all-cause mortality, which means all causes of you not living anymore. And doing it more than 4 times a week is significantly better than just doing it 1 to 3 times a week. 1 to 3 times is still better than not doing it at all, but 4 to 7 times, that's like the threshold for really gaining that biggest edge. So, if we go on to the next level, this is where the nutraceuticals and the nootropics come in. Now, this is a bit more of the advanced supplementation. This is what I use when handling stuff like ADHD. When you handle mild versions of ADHD, what other people call mental illnesses, you can start using nutraceuticals and nootropics to really handle that. Because ADHD can be a superpower. I had a question the other day. A guy asked me, what should I do? I have ADHD. First of all, 80% of people who diagnose themselves with ADHD don't have ADHD. Most people just use it as an outlet to have an excuse to be mediocre, to not do things properly. They'll do things half-heartedly and be like, oh, well, it's just because I have ADHD, I can't focus. And that's not really the case. That's not what ADHD is about. But using nutraceuticals and nootropics is one of the ways you can handle some of these things to increase your focus, increasing calmness, increasing cognitive ability to just doing one thing instead of always skipping and not being able to focus at different things. So this is one of the ways that you can naturally, on top of a basic foundation, because truly with some of these, what people call mental illnesses, I don't like using that word, having a basic diet in order and a basic training regimen does a lot, really a lot. And then sleep on top of that. How many people, especially those of you who have kids, right? Those of you who have kids, when they were younger and you didn't sleep well at night, when you woke up in the morning, you were a different person, right? Totally different person than you would be if you had slept properly. So this is why having that basic foundation in order is truly important. Just to, get things done. Some of the things that people can use is as nutraceuticals, for example, is saffron. Saffron is amazing, not only for people with ADHD, but for people without ADHD, or whatever people say, if they have ADHD or not, right? So, amazing. It's truly sent from God using saffron. And I like using some of these natural compounds because this is what we used to do 200 years ago, using natural compounds to battle some of these things. It's the same with black seed oil, right? I remember when I was younger, my mother used to put with the black seeds in honey, and I would eat that if I had a cold, and it would help. I never understood why, but obviously it did help, right? So some of these natural compounds truly have an effect. They're not as effective as real drugs, which can really go in and bind to receptors and have they're real active compounds inside the body. The nutraceuticals can be active compounds as well, but they're just dosaged way lower and their effect is just less. But this is what you do when you have mild ADD or ADHD, whatever, right? Nootropics as well. Nootropics are amazing. This is one of the ways naturally you can increase your focus levels. Cognitive ability is by using nootropics. Just being able to sitting down, completing a task, getting it over with, having that laser sharp focus. You can do that with nootropics. Some guys, especially guys with guys who are at university, right, or guys who work a very high demanding job, they take study drugs, Adderall, modafinil, all these things. These are next level nootropics. Nootropics can be natural compounds that you can use to really help you. They don't have to be prescription drugs. Prescription drugs obviously are next level, and I'm not saying you should do that because that comes with risks. Using natural compounds comes with way less risk than using drugs. So these are some of the things that you can do when you stack these things, right? Because this is about stacking. Now we're really pushing for the last 5%, last 10% of benefits of really achieving superhuman health. Being able to do whatever you want, physically and mentally, without having any bottlenecks. Again, either physically or mentally, no bottlenecks. If you don't want to do anything, it's not because you're tired. It's not because you don't have the mental capability to do it. You don't do it because you don't want to do it. It's a choice. This is what this gives you. Having this baseline and building on top, stacking on the top, gives you choice to do whatever you want to do. If you want to play with your kids, if you want to stay up late to finish that task, focusing on selling, right? This is what this is about. Now, let's go to the next level. When we go to the next level, this is level 4, and some of these are obviously interchangeable. It's not like one straight line in between all of these. They mix, obviously, right? And this is just a general overview of the framework that everyone can implement into their lives, and in which order generally I would suggest that people do these things, right? This is when you look at doing these things, having the basic, supplementing basically, doing cold therapy, doing saunas, using basic nutraceuticals, basic nootropics. After that, you can start adding the peptides, and you can add, well, not add, but like optimize hormones, optimize your hormones naturally, increasing testosterone levels naturally. I believe every single man should strive for their genetic max in terms of testosterone levels. They should really do that, and they can do that naturally. You can do that by strength training. You can do that by eating the right diet. This is now. You do this now. Optimizing the hormones is on the 4th level after having the basics in order. You could even, this is not something that I would advise, but you could go from having a baseline and then the 1st level, and then you go on to optimizing hormones, just going straight for that. You could definitely do that. Would I optimize, would I advise doing it that way? Is it the way that I'm doing it? No, it's not. I always take the steps before that first, and then you start looking at optimizing hormones. And this is when you start taking supplements that are specific, that we know will increase or actually just help you maintain proper testosterone levels. The main things of optimizing hormones, testosterone levels for men like us, is basically the diet, eating enough cholesterol, doing strength training. Those 2 things. And then obviously being lean, because when you're lean, you have less estrogen, and then you aromatize less, which leads to the less estrogen, right? So being lean, eating properly, working out, doing squats is one of the best, like it's these compound movements. Squat is one of the best exercises to do to increase your testosterone levels naturally. It's amazing. It's amazing how many guys we can take to the upper range of normal testosterone levels by just doing basic stuff. Shedding weight, eating properly, doing strength training. You don't even have to work out that much. My testosterone levels, my total T levels are upper range at the top, and my free testosterone levels are above normal range, all naturally. I don't take any drugs, I don't take anything. It's just natural. And I don't believe everyone should do TRT. I actually say no to most guys who come to me and say, like, I want to be on TRT. I tell them no. You have to do these things first. Peptides, on the other hand, are amazing. There are peptides for so many, let's say, goals. You can do so many things with peptides. What most people use peptides for are generally if they have injuries, wrist injuries, knee injuries, then they use peptides. They use the BPCs, the TBs, all these. They use these for rejuvenation, helping themselves heal better, heal faster. Some of these new weight loss drugs, they're peptides. The semaglutides, the tirzepatides, they're peptides. Obviously, these are pharmaceutical drugs now, but those are peptides. Right? So they are very, very effective at working and helping you achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So we have the weight loss peptides, we have the injury peptides. Some peptides help you increase hunger, so you can eat more. This is what some bodybuilders use. They use these peptides to eat more, just to force themselves to eat more because they want to grow bigger, right? It's not a peptide that I'm a particularly big fan of, but it's a peptide some people use. You have fat burners as peptides as well. These new, especially so right now, it's the weight loss peptides that are very, very, let's say, famous. They're very common. A lot of people, they talk about them. The next one in line is the retatrutide, which is going to be crazy for the weight loss industry. This is probably one of the peptides that is going to change how we treat obesity. Instead of doing surgery, instead of doing bariatric surgery, more people are probably going to get peptides, these peptides. So peptides are amazing. You should use them after setting up everything else, having a basic in order. It's truly important. I keep saying this over and over again. Having your basics in order is the most important thing you can do for whatever goal you have. If you want to lose weight, have your basics in order. If you want to put on muscle, have your basics in order. If you want to be more focused, be clearer in your mind, be able to do more tasks at one time, have your basics in order. Sunlight, waking up at the same time, going to sleep at the same time, eating properly. Those basics are so important. And that's why I said in the beginning, the basics can handle 80% of everything for you. 80%. If you just have the basics in order, right? So, basics in order, and then you can start stacking these things. Peptides, optimizing hormones. And for men, I say optimizing hormones, but for men, again, it's mainly testosterone, optimizing testosterone. And with that, let's go to the next level. And that is HRT and TRT. HRT is hormone replacement therapy. TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. Now, as I said before, most guys who come to me and say, I want to take TRT, first thing I say is, do you have your basics in order? I look at them. And usually most guys, they're overweight, so they can start by doing that, shed the weight, eat properly, do strength training. And then for a select few, TRT makes sense. People men with very low testosterone, it makes sense for them to boost them a little bit while doing everything else. Again, you cannot just take injections exogenously and not do anything and expect amazing results. Nothing is going to happen really. This is why if you're doing TRT, for some people who do that, it's truly important, again, having the basics in order to do that. And then you can look at which kind of dosages. Some people should only take a low dosage while doing this, while working on the foundation, the basic supplementation, the cold bath, the saunas, all these things, right? Just doing these things are truly important before looking at TRT. And then again, I do not recommend TRT for anyone who is below 40 years old, because you're decreasing your chance of being able to get kids, right? When I see these people at the hospital, they have to be off of any form of testosterone replacement therapy for at least 12 months before we can help them with fertility treatment. At least 12 months. Because it has issues, right? Now, could you do TRT and still be fertile? Yes, there are ways that I'm not going to explain in this video because that is a bit too advanced. This is only the framework, only basics to understanding what you should do which kind of way to stack your health routines. But there are ways to do that. Is this something I recommend? No, it's not. This is something I take from by person-to-person basis. Then we look at it, right? So these are the different levels of how you should stack your health routines. I put the HRT and the TRT at the top because this is the last thing you should look at. Have the basics in order first, and then you can have all the other stuff, right? Now, if you're thinking, this was great, I can go out and do this myself. Perfect. I'm very happy to hear that. If you want me to do this for you personally, you can click the link down below and book a call with me, and we'll see if it even makes sense, right? Can we even do anything for you? And then I'll take over the whole treatment just for you. And if you want more information, you can also click the link below in the bio to join my free community, where you can get more educational videos and learn a little bit more about how I do these things and what I do. So, with that said, like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on the next one.